Hi. See, like already mentioned, see, when, for example, when I read Godfather, that was in my intermediate time, almost my senior intermediate, which should be roughly somewhere in the 83, 84, something like that. But it took me nearly 2005 to make Sarkar. You know. So when you're impressed with something, that doesn't mean you immediately consciously have an idea that I want to make a film. There's been influence in your life. So after that, it is just, for me, Sarkar was never about the underworld. Godfather was never. It was about a family. Then at one point of time, it suddenly occurred to me there is a correlation between Balasaheb Thackeray and Godfather. So that idea probably came to me only in 2002, to have some kind of a parallel comparison. So likewise, when I saw Enter the Dragon, I wasn't even, what do you call, I didn't have the vaguest idea I'll become a filmmaker someday. But me reading books on Bruce Lee, watching his documentaries and watching his various other things, I had a, an influence, general influence in terms of my lifestyle itself. That was what Bruce Lee did to me. So subconsciously I used to copy Bruce Lee's kind of thing, even in my debut film Shiva. Whether they were martial arts or not is not the point. Then maybe late, sometime after many years, it occurred to me that none of the Hong Kong martial art films or Korean martial arts, they seem to have understood the Bruce Lee phenomena. How come for 40 years we're not able to forget Bruce Lee? And every martial artist who came after that, we forget them in 3-4 years and we move on. So I studied it like a research in terms of that. I'm not saying I'm not a martial artist myself, but I understand the theory of martial arts a lot. It's like because of that, and then by the time I slowly formed an idea, maybe I can adapt something like this, and then like I just mentioned, to make a female martial artist, then the hunt for that to female martial artists. Then once I found Pooja, then there was a process of converting her style from Taekwondo to Jeet Kune Do, you know. So all this was a period of time, and this was working parallelly. It's not like the day I thought of making a martial arts film, I didn't stop all other work. It was just working in the sidelines and off and on. Yeah. Yes, I'm very, very keen, because for me, what it signifies, for me, Bruce Lee, like if you remember the plot of Enter the Dragon, he's been put into a certain adventure. Him being a martial artist who takes part in tournaments, he was given a job by someone in a certain sense as a mission, for want of a better word. So I'm very keen to continue Ladki as a franchise in terms of the same character to be put in different situations each time. Yeah. I need some help. Yeah.
அதான் என்னோடய கொஸ்டின் வேறு ஒன்றும் இல்லை. இந்த மாதிரி லேடிஸ் வந்து ஸ்போர்ட்ஸில் வர்றப்போ அவங்க கோச் அவங்க தான், அது மாதிரி நம்ம நிறைய நியூஸ்லாம் படிச்சிருக்கிறோம், உண்மையாக நடந்திருக்குது. இந்த படத்தில் ஒரு ஃபோட்டோகிராஃபர் லவ்வராக வர்றதுக்கு என்ன ரீசன்? அவர் ஏதாவது டார்ச்சர் பண்ணுறாரு, அதுக்கப்புறம் லவ் இல்லைன்னு சொன்ன பிறகு?
Okay, so he's asking generally a girl who is into martial arts or whatever the sport it might be, so she will be facing the issues through the coaches, or like we have seen it in the real life also. So he's asking, like in the movie the photographer is the hero, so he is the lover boy. So in case he is giving any kind of like pressure, or like he is saying after love any kind of distraction to the dream she is having. So that is what this question is all about.
Yeah, I think if I get it right, the main point is there is a very strange love story in the film, because Pooja is obsessed with Bruce Lee, because she's like a self-taught, like Ekalavya kind of a personality. In a certain situation, she watches his documentaries and teaches herself. And there's an obsession which forms in her. Now the guy who is in love with Pooja, initially he likes her for her skills and everything, but then later on he starts feeling jealous of Bruce Lee. Her obsession for this guy, though he's dead a long time back. And also he feels her obsession can put her in trouble in the future, and he wants her to get out. So that is a conflict point, which is like why I said it's a strange love story between a boy and a girl and a guy who died 40 years back. Yeah.
Pooja, when the movie is narrated to you, hi Pooja here, yeah. Ram Gopal Varma is very famous for doing glamorous scripts. So when the movie is narrated to you and now you are seeing the total entire first copy, which is being balanced by the martial arts or the glamorous role, which is the more? What do you feel?
I think it's both because in my real life I can connect to it. Martial arts is very important part of my life, and I'm very romantic person in my personal life. So with every girl and every boy, there's something or the other. Everybody likes to fall in love with someone, and the action part was already there. So it was kind of new experience for me, and I was very aware that I've seen Sir's other films. And I knew that I am going to look really glamorous and super amazing in the film. So that happiness was there, and I was aware of what I want to do and how I will look in a certain clothes or in a certain scenario. So I think both the things are pretty much amazing in the film. I think you will enjoy it. Yeah.
பூஜா அதே மாதிரி
Just I want to add one thing. I think this is what I'm saying. And he said he's famous for making his heroines look glamorous. And I think his question also was, did he tell you something and did he show you as something else? I think that was the question.
No.
No, yeah, partly. But to just elaborate on that, I'm extremely, frank and truthful to my actors. Right in the beginning, I said, see, Pooja comes from a very conservative middle class family from Pune. And I said, you see, the whole point for me when I watched Bruce Lee in Enter the Dragon, as much as his face, the expression in the face, the incredible fitness of his body, and his body speaks a language for itself in terms of its stance, and you see each muscle rippling across the thing when he hits or when he just stands there. So it's very important, I think, for a martial artist, the body expresses as much as the face. And that needs to be shown with pride, with a kind of a poise and dignity, So, and to her credit, she did it with complete conviction, trusting me to capture that in the same way. Yeah.
Many people are very big fans of Enter the Dragon movie, and you are titled and given as a caption as Enter the Women's Dragon.
Girl Dragon.
A girl dragon. Is there anything particular?
Yeah, the reason because she's a girl. Obviously, because what will distinguish between Bruce Lee's Enter the Dragon and this film is because Pooja being a girl, I thought I'm not comparing her to Bruce Lee because she's playing the role of a fan of Bruce Lee in the film as a kind of a, like I said, Ekalava Shishya, something like that. So the girl is only because she's a girl.
சார் ஆர்ஜி சார்
Yeah.
அதாவது கிளாமர் செக்ஸ் லவ் எல்லாமே ஒரு விதமான ஆர்ட் தான்
Where? Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
ஆர்ட் தான். அதில் நீங்கள் எப்போதுமே கை தேர்ந்தவர். இந்த மார்ஷியல் ஆர்ட்டோட அந்த ஆர்ட்டை எப்படி கலந்தீங்க, எந்த அளவுக்கு அதை ரசிக்கிற மாதிரி பண்ணியிருக்கீங்க?
So he is asking like love, martial arts and sex, everything comes under the art section. So how you have mingled this martial art, love and sex in the film?
See, I honestly believe that the art of fighting and the beauty of sexuality is actually the two prime things of nature. And nature made and everything else is a restriction made by mankind. So when you see something on screen, anything, for example, a woman's beauty is one of the most beautiful things which we have in life. And then there is a power of a man, They both go hand in hand and don't look down upon any of each of them in any context. So I thought here I got an opportunity, like I might have done Rangila to show off a woman's body. I might have made Shiva or something like that to show a man's power. Whereas in Ladki, I thought I got an incredible opportunity to showcase a combination of both of them together in one person.
Sir, here, in what way Bruce Lee character connected in the movie, sir?
Bruce Lee's character is connected because, like I said, she is basically obsessed with Bruce Lee and she learned herself by studying his films and studying his documentaries and listening to his interviews. And so she became a self-styled martial artist, not following any classical patterns of karate or kung fu or something like that, which is what Bruce Lee used to preach. And then the boy who falls in love with her, though initially is enamored with her specialty, he somewhere starts feeling stifled and very cornered with her obsession. And because that also puts her in trouble, because in modern day times, martial arts cannot solve problems. It becomes a spectacular art form to show off your skill rather than it having a practical application in real life. So that becomes a conflict point between them. So Bruce Lee becomes a thorn between two lovers. Yeah, that is the connection.
So your previous movie Dangerous faced a lot of issues. Still, what's happening in that movie?
Yeah, now that is settled, and the reason I'm going to release that next month. The reason I kept it postponed is because Ladki was releasing along with the Chinese version of Ladki on July 15th. So I wanted to get this out first and come to that later.
சார் RGV சார்,
Yeah.
நம்ம ஊரில் இந்த மாதிரி மார்ஷியல் ஆர்ட், இந்த கராத்தே குங்ஃபு இந்த மாதிரி ஆர்ட்லாம் இந்த சின்ன பொண்ணுங்க சின்ன பசங்களுக்கு வந்து இந்த பாதுகாப்புக்காக தான் கற்றுக்கோங்க அப்படிம்பாங்க ஸ்கூல் படிக்கிறப்பவே. இந்த படத்தில் அந்த மாதிரி ஏதாவது மெசேஜ் இருக்குதா? மார்ஷியல் ஆர்ட் கற்றுக்கிறது வந்து தன்னோட பாதுகாப்பு, லேடிஸ் பெண்களுக்கு குறிப்பாக அந்த மாதிரி ஏதாவது மெசேஜ் இருக்குது?
Okay, so he's asking like in India generally, parents used to tell the girl child to learn martial arts just to make them, protect from the outside world what they are facing now. So is it a kind of a learning that she is facing in the movie, or like it is for any kind of a competition or something like that? So that is what his question is all about.
I mean, you're asking in the context of the film, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I feel in the context of the story, there's something happens with the character's family member, like elder sister, where she feels helpless in inability to not to be able to do anything. But in the overall context, I feel, I'm just giving an example. Now see, men kind of take women as weak creatures, so they can't do anything. They're at their mercy. That is what the general man's belief system towards a woman. So my question is, if in a case like the horrible Nirbhaya rape case, when these 4 guys were in the bus looking for a woman who they can prey upon, now what if that girl happens to be like Pooja? That's for me a kind of a speculation on a hypothetical level. So I think when women also have that kind of basic self-defense, to handle a situation, if at all it comes, something unfortunate that happens, I think that is one message this film very strongly sends. Apart from that, the effects of the perfect fitness of the body with related to health and all that, I think both of them are very strongly there.
Okay, so he's asking, already we have so many conflicts going between India and China. So why you have to take only the China's martial art to bring it here in India? Why can't you take the arts which we have in India already present? So you can promote that. Why you want to promote Bruce Lee here?
I'll ask you a question. Now India has a lot of martial arts. But did you ever see a film in India which is actually Indian martial art is portrayed? No. The reason for that is world over, not only in India, in America, in Europe and every country, I think the martial art became synonymous with Bruce Lee, because that is a style which is not exactly Chinese. He something developed himself, which is what his whole philosophy was. So that was what I was trying to capture in the film. So it is not about martial art, it's what effectively looks on screen. There can be many dance forms, there can be many martial arts, there can be any other art forms. But what is the most effective to look at on the screen is what I was trying to capture.
பூஜா, ஆக்சுவலாக நீங்கள் ரொம்ப தைரியமான பொண்ணு, ஏன்னா மார்ஷியல் ஆர்ட்லலாம் இருக்கீங்க, கண்டிப்பாக தைரியமான பொண்ணாக இருப்பீங்க. நான் RGV சார்ட்டேருந்து அழைப்பு வந்ததும் உங்களுக்கு வந்து நம்மளை ரொம்ப கிளாமராக பண்ணிடுவாரா, இல்லை நம்ம மார்ஷியல் ஆர்ட்டு இந்த உலகம் அளவுக்கு கொண்டு போகிற அளவுக்கு ஹெல்ப்ஃபுல்லாக இருக்குமா அந்த ஃபிலிம்? எந்த நம்பிக்கை போனீங்க? உங்களுக்கு அந்த மாதிரி தைரியம் இருந்ததா, இந்த மாதிரி நம்பிக்கை இருந்தது?
Okay, so when sir actually approached you for the movie, so first of all, what was your mindset? Whether he is going to take you to the level in the way of martial art, or whether he told you like it is going to be a glamorous one, so you will be approached only for the further glamorous role or what. So he's asking what kind of thought you had when you committed to this movie. Either you will be approached or you will be applauded for the martial art or for the glamour one. Applauded for. Like, so he is going to take you up in the role of glamour or in the role of martial art, that your talent you are going to expose.
First of all, when I met Sir, I was not at all glamorous. I think I was a tomboy when I met Sir, and a very simple girl, and that's why Sir casted me in this film for my action talent. And then initially when I started working on myself and learning Jeet Kune Do, I felt that for this specific film, I think there should be a makeover, like how it happens in the film when a girl goes through a makeover scene. So I think in real life also something like that happened with me, that I had to change my personality completely, so I'll be more presentable, because action part is there, but I felt that there should be a glamorous side of me, because I've been a fan of Sir since childhood, and when I saw Urmila ma'am in Rangila, I was completely mesmerized with the beauty and her acting skills. So I kind of I was looking up to her, and trying to imitate her in a way, since like I can't be Urmila ma'am, but her beauty was so mesmerizing that I felt like if I can look like her even 5%, then it will be really good for me. So I started working on my looks as well, and I think what I want to say that I'm really happy what we have achieved in the film, action wise and glamour wise as well. And let's see, I think in the future I want to do more action films, and I think I will try to balance both the things throughout my career.
Okay, he's asking, so while doing the action sequences, so have you faced any kind of injuries, or have you practiced a particular action sequence? Have you taken any training for that? So because of that fight sequence, have you got any severe injuries or something like that? That is what this question is.
We initially did a lot of training for every specific scenes we were planning to shoot. So whenever we were shooting, like whenever we were on the sets actually, so you are in that zone, in that action mode, so accidents tend to happen. So I think 2-3 times this has happened, that I got injured, and other people who were like there in the scene, they also got injured. But I think the end result is so good that the pain just goes away, and you just look at the final product.
So what is the message that you are going to convey to people through this movie?
I mean, message, I'm not really sure I want to use the word message, but I would like to think, I remember Hrithik Roshan told me when Kahuna Pyare came around 20 years back, he said, Rama, I'm just so happy that I'm inspiring so many people to take up bodybuilding, because there's a huge hike in membership on gyms when Kahuna Pyare came. So always a movie actor or something, when it works, a character, it always inspires so many people. And when it does in a positive level, I think it's good. So I think a lot of women will definitely want to get into training after seeing Pooja in Ladki. And apart from that, I think there will be a spike in interest to maybe learn self-defense techniques to whatever degree. Like, when what happened to all of us when we saw Bruce Lee, it felt that if you work hard, you can achieve some part of him. So I think that very rarely happens, which is what I think the underlying message of the film.
So what is the opinion about Isingnani Ilayaraja has got the MP in the parliament. Like he has got that opportunity. So what do you think about? What is your opinion about it?
See, I'm a big fan of Ilayaraja. I don't want to see him sitting amongst a lot of people. I want to see him alone sitting like a king. So I don't know what to say.
Ram Gopal sir, usually the movies what you done before, all the movies before the release the song will be hit like Rangila and all. But nowadays the movies, the songs are not up to the hit or the movies are not reaching the.
I mean, I see. First of all, I've not been making films with songs as the main. I've been more into gangster and horror and the genre films. Rangila is a very typical romantic love story. So the songs which I'm making over the past few years, they're very situational and a part of the narrative of the film, rather than to make it work for its own sake. That's how I'd like to see it.
Thank you.
So he's asking whether you. Okay, he's asking. So generally, heroines when they come to the dais or something like that, they used to give some dance performance or something like that. So the movie is all about the martial art. So in case if your costume permits you to do some kind of a martial things, will it be possible for you to perform over? That is what is question.
Unfortunately, I can't do that. Yeah.
Any more questions? Thank you so much. I request the movie team members to come up on the dais for the group photo, please.